Imagine running a business and being too scared to even look at your bank account. Not because you don't care, but because you just don't understand what you'll find. And the longer you avoid it, the worse it gets. Until one day you realize it's not just about money, it's about identity. And today we've joined by Hannah, who is a bookkeeper, a bus agent, a financial clarity human being, but more importantly, someone who helps small business owners move from overwhelm to control. So, Hannah, let's start. Thank you so much for being here today, Hannah.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Always enjoy talking with you.
So even before all of this started, before Australia even, you left Israel 25 years ago, planning to stay just for 2 years. So what did life look like in your mind back then?
Correct. Back then, I was working as software engineer. I loved my job. I was always dreaming to visit Australia. That was my, top destination to visit. And then the opportunity came. They needed somebody here in the Australian offices. And I raised my hand and I said, I can do it. So I moved for 2 years relocation. And here I am 25 years later. I'm still here.
Oh, we are so glad you're here. So we get to meet and create opportunities. And when you look at your life today, Hannah, how different is it from what you imagined?
It's completely different. First, let's start by the fact that I'm living in completely different country away from my family. But also it allows me, I now run a business. I would assume that if I would stay in Israel, I would, continue with my corporate work, build my life, and carries on. Coming here, I think allowed me, in a sense, to be open to different idea, different things that I don't know if I would have stayed in my comfort zone would have happened. So it allowed me to be in completely different stage 25 years later.
And I love that. I love how, you've evolved and you understand that this is where you're at and you've accepted the awesomeness that you're building at the moment.
Sometimes life takes you and you either grab the opportunity or you don't. You either continue, like follow the path that life provided you,
Yeah.
or you don't. So I chose to follow that path and embraced it fully.
Love it.
Instead of saying, okay, 2 years, I'm done, my contract ended, I enjoyed Australia, I love Australia, I made good friends, I traveled, I saw kangaroos, now I can go back to home. And instead of just chosen to follow life as it happens.
Love that. And acceptance, right? And we were discussing that the other day on the last episode that we did, how important it is, the acceptance and flowing, going with the flow. And that's what you're sharing here, that you embraced it, you embraced the kangaroos and you're still here and having fun.
Yeah. Look, you make educated decisions. Yeah, it's all about decisions. I could have gone
Yeah,
back, choose to go back. I just chose to stay
chose to
and
stay.
see where it takes me.
Love it.
That's very important. I mean, yes, you've seen the kangaroos, which is awesome. However, you spent 2 years traveling, not only to Australia,
Yep.
Thailand, Vietnam, and that kind of freedom changes you. So, what did that season teach you about yourself?
I think this taught me about resilient and it taught me about adaptability. So you come to a place, you start all fresh, you meet new peoples, you're open to different experiences. Um, the total freedom was, the best 2 years of my life. It was just incredible. Australia is beautiful. You meet beautiful places, beautiful people, seeing beautiful places, yeah, but you also meet amazing people that become your friends for life, and you met them in fishing in the Northern Territory in some remote, river. So I learned how to be open-minded and again, just observes all the experience that I can take.
That's brilliant. Like you said something powerful there. You said that you didn't immigrate, you chose to stay. So what made Australia feel like home?
The people that I met, I think the lifestyle is very different, very more relaxed, more calm, like no worry, Aussie kind of a way, in a sense. And it was beautiful. I really enjoyed that. I met beautiful people, beautiful friends. I enjoyed traveling. So it opened my eyes to say, I think we were extremely lucky to see Australia because many Australians don't. So I had the pleasure of meeting different people in different places and see the beauty that Australia has to offer. Yeah, it made me love Australia.
That is so wonderful. I think Audrey and I keep talking about you are the people that you surround yourselves with, and looks like you've met some wonderful people through the years. And now you've then built a career in software engineering, very structured, very logical, very stable, and then you walked away. So, what was happening internally at that time?
It was a conscious decision, and it wasn't a difficult decision for me. It was a very good job. I enjoyed what I do. I was very good at what I do. I am good at what I do. But it is more kind of isolated work in a sense, because you have a project, you stick to it, and that's what you do day in and day out. Like there are no much interactions with people. And I was missing the interactions, the human interactions. Yes, you have friends at the office, to talk to, but it's not the same as working with people. If I would still be in my engineering work, developing software, I wouldn't have those opportunities to talk to people. I wouldn't have the one-on-ones that I have with clients. And that's something like the more human connections is something that I missed. So it was a very conscious a decision that I was very happy about. And the bookkeeping that I chose later actually goes really hand in hand. They're quite similar in the sense of what am I doing, but now I have the human touch as well. So the human connections.
Love it. I so resonate with what you just said, right? Like being on your computer, just doing tiki 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 tiki. I've been there, and and the stark contrast in actually, meeting people, real life, the emotions, solving their real problems, and just connecting with them on the journey and celebrating the little wins is so fulfilling.
Yeah, and it also I think you deliver your service way better when you have those human interactions and you actually get to know their person and get to know how they work, how they react, what are the pain points as human being as well, what's hard for them. Yeah,
Love
so I'm kind of the person to
it.
literally hold their hands and be there for them, and I
Oh,
love that.
that's wonderful.
Love it. I think my son and I were writing codes and they were like alphabets Z,
Yep.
Z. I'm feeling that fuzzy feeling as you speak. So, and I think looking at what you did, like most people would stay where it's safe, right? But you didn't
Yeah,
do that. So, what were you really searching for, Hannah? I know you
I
said human interactions.
human interaction, want to help people from a genuine place, not just to sort their books, because the tack tack tack, like you said, Audrey, the typing, that's fine. I do that. Their books are, immaculate, up to date, they are compliant. All of this is done kind of behind the scenes. But there is the other level, the other aspect of helping them to grow their business, helping them to understand their business, helping them when they have a question like a client called me. I don't know what to tell her. What am I going to tell her about my invoice? She doesn't understand what I want. So to help them clear their communication to the client or help them look where they can save or how they can grow your business. This is something that I'm really passionate about. And I also enjoy working to myself. I grew up, like I said, I grew up as a human being and as a business owner and as a professional, so much because the fact that I chose to go my own path and leave the corporate world and do the bookkeeping my way, my terms, my business. It allowed me to grow as a human being, as a business owner. I learned so many different things. I meet so many amazing people. I'm doing so many
Wow.
things that I wouldn't if I will be a bookkeeper sitting in an office as an employee.
Well, I think most people wouldn't even connect the dots, like a software engineer to bookkeeping, but you did. So,
Yeah.
what was that moment where it clicked? Like, this is what I want to do.
And it's amazing that you said it because everyone is asking me, what's the connection? How they go hand in hand? To me, it was very obvious. Software engineering is logical. It's you have a problem, okay? What are you going to design? What a software needs to do. So you understand the problem, you know where you want to go. In between, you need to code and you need to test. So to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do and don't do many other things that it's not supposed to do. So it's the process and it's the planning and it's the execution and it's the testing. Bookkeeping is exactly the same. I need to understand you as I need to understand your business. Okay. So what it is that you want to achieve, how it is that you want to analyze your business and look at your business. It's building the system, it's setting up the software, building the systems and the processes to allow us to get there. And then at the end, we're reviewing it and I can help you make educated decisions of how you can save money in your business, where money is going, who are your problematic clients, for argument's sake, that don't pay you, how do we deal with it? So now you can make educated decisions and not like you mentioned at the beginning of the conversation that many business owners working hard, but then they look at a bank account and the money is there and they don't understand because they work very hard and they invoice a lot of clients. But the question is, what happens in between? And that's where we want to capture the data and then we can analyze it. So for me, again, it goes really hand in hand. It's like taking the data, putting it in the correct place, making it work for you.
That is so beautiful. And
Love the relationship you've derived.
Pardon?
I said, love the relationship. I love the
Thank you.
softwares. I still don't like the bookkeeping. So,
Yeah. Hey, you haven't done a session with me. After my training, you will love it.
all right, love
Look,
that.
when
Looking
I
forward to it.
when I do, because what I'm passionate about and what I think is very important for business owners is the financial literacy, the financial education. The fact that their numbers are correct and in the right place, and then your lodgement are fine and your compliance is fine. But as a business owner, I think it's very important that you understand the story that the numbers are telling you. Okay, you don't need to actually punch the numbers. You can have somebody. But if you want to have educated conversations with your accountant and raise questions, and when they are talking to you, understand what they are talking about, and it's not just going over your head, and you're like, okay, 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 thank you. I will see you next year, and you have no idea what he was doing. Um, so I think again, it is important to understand the story and understand, for example, what your reports are looking at. It will help you feel more confident with the numbers.
I love it. Like it's so important. We're constantly teaching our boys about the importance of making the informed choice and informed decisions. So it could be in consent and it could be in finances. So it's very, very important. But you didn't just go and get a job after you finished studying, Hannah. You started your
No.
business straight away, and that's a big move.
Yeah.
So where did that self-trust come from? Like, did you always back yourself like that, or did you have to, grow into it?
No, it was again the decision before I started to study. So once I do something, I'm very committed. So it might take me a while to get to the decision. I will do a lot of research about, for example, what do I want my new career to be? How does I want it to look like? So I made a decision to run my own business before I started studying. So the study was to support this decision in a sense. So I chose what career I want to do now, but I also chose to be a different business owner, sorry. And it's not easy because we are wearing many hats and we come across a lot of challenges. And it's not we worked from 8 to 5 and that's it. And we can go home to the family and enjoy a cup of tea or walk at the beach. But I wanted to do things my way, to support people the way that I want to be supported. I wanted the interaction. Again, if I would be at the office, it doesn't matter if I'm doing the engineering or I'm doing bookkeeping or whatever it is. I will still sit at a desk from 8 to 5, punching the numbers, talking to the person next to me. I won't have those human interactions. I won't be able to help many people. I will be able to help the one business that are working. But I will not be able to reach so many people and help so many people that I think the individuals and the companies that I work with and support appreciate it more and need it more than the one business that they need the one employee to sit there. There are many amazing employees that can fulfill the job, but there are not as many business owners that can help you your way. There are amazing bookkeepers out there or marketing or whatever it is, but you need to find the right person to help you your way.
Absolutely. And it's so important to find that person. And then when you find that person, you got to keep that person. Well,
Yeah.
uh, in our previous conversation, you said that budget and savings, they feel like dirty words for a lot of people. So why is there so much stress and even shame around money for business owners?
I think because money possibly is kind of more personal thing. I think that, like you said, you are teaching your boys, how to look at things. That it doesn't matter if it's financials or coding. I think that many business owners, that are not 20 and just starting up, we were not taught financial literacy or business in school. We didn't observe this information. So I think it is harder to admit that you don't know something. And when something also is complicated and you don't understand, it's like, I don't want to deal with this. I will bury my head in the sand, and that's it. And the problem don't disappear. You still look at your bank account at the end of the month and nothing is there, and it's even worse. Um, so I think it's coming from embarrassment and from overwhelm talking about money. And again, when you talk to your accountant and if they talk in a words that you don't understand because there are technical words. I don't know if I go to my doctor and they're using medical terms, I have no idea what they're talking about. And even if they do and I understand in the moment, by the time that I reach the car, I completely forget what was this word and what they were talking about. So when people hear words like cash flow or budget, they kind of panic because they think it's very complicated. But I think it's because nobody taught them what it actually means and how simple it is and how you can apply it to your business. So once you get an understanding of what it is, regardless if it's budget or reading your P&L or cash flow or just, talking about when clients are paying you, once you get that, it's less overwhelming. Now, a lot of business owners also ashamed sometimes because, they're late, they haven't lodged their bus or they haven't done taxes for 5 years. So it's come from a shame that, I'm behind and stress if, the ATO are now going to knock on my door. So it's kind of all of those things together, the stress, the shame, the not knowing, the embarrassed of the fact that they are not knowing, but it can be simple
So,
to
Hannah, when someone comes to you They're overwhelmed. They're probably behind on VAS. They're behind on tax. They're avoiding their numbers. What does that person feel like when they walk in? And what's the first thing that you do?
When they walk in, again, they're embarrassed, they're overwhelmed, and sometimes it's reached the point that they are literally crying. So I had a client come to me to my home 2 years ago. She was crying. She's like, take it, deal with it. That's it. I'm closing my business. Okay. So the first is listening to see where they're at. What is the problem? And then reassuring them. Everything is fixable. We can lodge everything. We can look at your business. It's then building a plan of this is how I suggest moving forward. This is the time frame. This is what we need to do together. I will do it. You give me the information and I will do it. And then we start working together and we clear up whatever it is. We build new systems. And then they are like relieved. It's like, that's it. Somebody is dealing with it. I don't need to think what I need to do. Um, the relief that somebody's took your problem and now they will deal with it, even though you are still, you're the one that needs to sign and you're the one that needs to pay. But somebody takes the pressure off you. Somebody is actually holding your hands and telling you what to do. You don't need to think, you don't need to stress. Somebody is walking with you through the whole process. Sometimes it can take a month, sometimes it can take three, sometimes it can take a week. But when they get rid of this overwhelm and this stress, they are completely like different people. And this lady, after she said, leave it, like take it, we caught up on everything and she's still running her business. She didn't close it because now she make better decisions because after we fixed everything, we lodged everything, all the compliance, no penalties were applied. So she was very lucky. She didn't lose any money. Now we have all the data because we worked on it and we worked on a plan how she can better run her business, what she can save on. And she's still, I think it's now 2 years later, running her business and
Ooh,
growing her business, which is amazing.
that's
And now
very,
she is compliant and everything is on time and
Oh,
that's
that's
it. So there is no
beautiful.
more stress. That's it. It's done.
Oh, that's wonderful. That sounds exciting. Literally, like it's so fulfilling. I love just
It
imagining
is
their face and how it would be for somebody who doesn't want to continue or want to close down and then find that peace in knowing that someone is looking after me, taking care of me, my numbers, and helping me make decisions. That's amazing.
100%. That's the best feeling. That's the reward. That's why we
Yeah,
do what we do.
love it.
so it's like obviously that person's moved from guessing, now they understand things. So what really shifts in that person when that finally clicks? Like, does that clarity that you give them, it changes behavior, or do you think it just changes the identity?
I think it changes both because now they are not afraid.
Hmm.
Now they know that they can do things. It's not like I'm handing my business, that's it, I'm closing it. Now they know that they have opportunities to grow their business.
That is massive. So you work with a lot of women in business. Is there a different relationship that you would say women particularly have with money? Do women underestimate themselves financially?
Unfortunately, yes. Women underestimate themselves not just about money. I think that they don't realize how incredible and how many things they are doing. Running the household, taking care of the children, multitasking, running like 5 calendars for the 3 children with the after activities and the husband and the mother and whatever it is. They take it for granted that as if it's their job, to do. And they don't realize how much they learn not just, but from running a household. And I don't know, maybe society taught women that they are not capable of running a business. If you will go to corporate events, like how many women that will be there? Not many. How many women in higher jobs? Not many. So I think in a sense, society taught us that women can't do a lot of things. How many people raise my eyebrows when I'm an engineer, you know? Like why? So women again feels, I think, less confident in themselves. I think I can't remember where I've been and I heard it, that men tend to 40% overestimate their abilities and capabilities, and women probably 30% less. So I think that they don't believe in themselves, unfortunately. And if a man will want to start a business, everyone will say, "Yay, go for it!" Yeah, you're an electrician. And if a woman will want to start a business, it's like, how can you do it with the family and with the life? And do you have the tools? And do you know what you're doing? So yes, she knows what we are doing. We know what we are doing. Look at us, three amazing women. So women can do it, and that's why I love working with women, because to give them the opportunity and the realization that they can do anything that they want. A lady came to me. I was speaking at the Glen Ira networking at the panel at the city of Glen Ira, and
Mm,
a young lady came to me after,
mm.
and she's first thanked me for like inspiring, and then she said, "I want to start trucking company."
Oh,
And
wow.
family tells me that I shouldn't, that I can't. And I told her, first do your due diligence if it's visible business. Yeah. You don't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
jump into businesses,
Love it.
but don't
Mm.
let anyone tell you that you can't do something. You can do whatever you choose to do, as long as it's
So wonderful.
educated and it's based on, you've done your
Mm,
research.
mm, mm.
Yeah,
That's
so but to
wonderful.
give this young lady, and if she will, I hope she will start her drug company if it's viable. But if not, start something else, and that's the best reward.
That's it.
Those
That's
young
so
women who need somebody to allow them to achieve their dreams, whatever it is, to allow them to understand that they can do whatever they choose to do.
That's such a wonderful thing that you've just shared, Hannah. It's so important for us women to realize that we are standing in our own way. If we choose to get out of our own way, we can achieve anything right now with the tools, the technology available. Everything is possible. So that's what a beautiful share.
So
Thank
for
you.
that lady from Glenera, if you're watching this, go for it. And if you already have, we would love to learn about you some more. So I
Hundred.
think it's opens up so many channels, right? Stepping into that financial clarity can unlock that confidence and so much more. Hannah, you started your business right before COVID.
Yep.
That's already pressure. What did that season force you to figure out really quickly?
Yeah, after the 5 minutes of, not five, but after the stress and the panic, and what are we going to do? Because when I started my business, my module was that I was going to clients.
Ah,
And then you couldn't, I still
yeah.
go to clients because a lot of clients want that. They want somebody, I don't need to sit there and do the job, but to go once a month and talk to them and see the business and talk to the people, it makes a huge difference. But anyway, so after the panic and what are we going to do? It taught me, okay, I need to adapt. It's either I'm like, after COVID, I need to find employment, or I change, my thinking of what the services that I want to offer, adapt and take the business to the next level. So, and people realize that you don't really need to be at their office. You can still do the job. So in a sense, it helped me first to change my offering, adapt quickly, but also for business owners to understand that they can adapt as well. They don't need to be stuck with their own thinking of how to do things.
Yes, being stuck is not a great place to be. And looks like you shattered all the glass ceilings that were there. But
Thank you.
you also
And
described yourself as someone who takes time to decide, but once
Yeah,
you're in, you're all in. So, how has that shaped the way that you've built your business, Hannah?
I think it helped me to make decisions and grow the business and take the opportunities because it could have been easy, to say, okay, I can't, work at clients' places. Let's do it. That's it. Sorry, I'm closing my business. Okay. I can't do work. So I think it's actually allowed me to run a better business, offer more services, adapt, learn more.
Which is awesome. So, talking about learning, adapting, and getting there, you invest a lot in learning and development. So,
Yeah.
what does that really look like for you?
So first there is the professional, okay? Because software change and rules are changing. So there is a lot with the professional bookkeeping that I need to keep track so I can help my clients. I need to know that now is payday super and superannuation rates are going in this and this date or whatever it is that the ATO are putting on us. So this is a must. Otherwise, I can't do the job properly. But also it is as a business owner, I try different software and different processes or different system for my business. So I learn about marketing for argument's sake or about um, I don't know, project management software, or I learn about because I work also with different business owners. So I learn about flowers and I learn about audio cables and I learn about, I don't know, running a cake shop or about NDIS because I learn about my clients' businesses to help them. So this is the human interactions that we spoke about before. It's talking to actually my clients and what is your work involved and what is that you actually do. That helps you help them run the business because otherwise you can't just put a number somewhere. You need to understand the business. Um, and it's about software. So the software are changing, and I don't believe in one solution fit them all. So I always look for different solution and different software for my clients. I don't just say that I'm zero only practice because it's convenient for me. I don't want to learn anything else. No, I work with MYOB and I work with Zoho and I work with QuickBooks and I have a client on Bonsai and if I see something online, somebody suggesting a different software, I'm like, oh, what it is? Let's research it. Maybe I can offer to my clients. Maybe I can learn. I love learning new softwares and new tools. And if I could, I would just keep studying all the time.
That's wonderful. You sound like a curious little kid who's like,
I
yes,
am.
so much to do and so excited to do
Yep,
things.
I
Beautiful.
am.
So,
Obviously, the software background helps you to really, fasten up the process of learning, which is amazing. I think
Yep,
having that tech background and getting into bookkeeping, I think that's the added benefit, the butterfly effect.
100% spot on. I'm not afraid to try different tool.
Mm, mm. Love it, love it.
so what, Hannah, if you think about it internally, what changes internally when you invest in yourself? Like, does clarity reduce the overwhelm? Does structure build more confidence for yourself with the clients?
All of this, and I think it's back to what we spoke about the clients that shifts from overwhelm to confidence. The more you learn, the more you feel more confident in yourself as a human being, as a business owner. So by helping my clients and by learning, I'm actually helping myself to grow as a human being and as a business owner.
Love it, love it. And I am actually curious, Hannah, have you had those dark moments, dark nights when you've thought that you cannot go forward with this or this is too much? Because as a business owner, we all go through those times when, at least I've been through so many times when you're like, you wake up and you're like, what have I got myself into? And, is this even worth going? Have you had that? And how have you overcome that?
Yeah. We have this all the time. There are new challenges, maybe some work that is challenging, maybe a process, maybe you're growing, maybe your system shut down or whatever it is. So 100%. I have those moments all the time. And I think it is a good thing
Mm.
because when you have challenges and when you have problems and when you're in doubt, you grow. So it's what you're learning from a process and what you're learning from those difficulties. So yes, I sometimes, wake up at night or can't sleep because I'm thinking about a problem or something. Uh, but it's diving into it, solving the issue, or
And
maybe
would
better my processes, maybe get some help, maybe saying, I don't need to do this work now. It's not important. I can focus on something else.
and would you like to share like a moment, like a defining moment where you thought you had hit a rock bottom, and then how you transition or how you transformed into a win or something that really helped you to pivot?
That's a very good question. One thing that was really I needed to, shift my business is growing. So growing is painful for business owners. Yeah, it's very exciting, it's very good, but sometimes you find yourself working too many hours. And so I think for me, the hardest point in a sense was this growth phase. And who do you engage to help you? What do
Mm.
you, who do you engage? What do you engage? You need to now work on your systems and work on your processes to have somebody. So I think for me, that was one of the kind of not dark moment hard, but it was a very what we call is a pain, growth pain. Yeah, like children have, so growth pain.
I love that. And how did you overcome it? What actions did you take?
So first it was dumping. I like to dump things and write things. So just to dump, what I need to do, like kind of dot points of what do I want to achieve? Yes, I want to grow. So I need people. Who do I want to employ? Why do I want to employ? I now need to build the systems to help me do that. So for me, it was just dumping everything into a document, kind of, just dumping some words and start to think about it logically and methodically.
Love that. That's wonderful. And journaling or writing or putting it somewhere, putting your thoughts is really a proven
Yeah,
strategy that helps to overcome the overwhelm and really pivot from there. Thank you for sharing that.
Love
thank you.
that, Hannah. If someone is watching this right now, Life in Biz Unfiltered, and they're quietly stressed about money, they're avoiding it, they're pushing it aside, what would you say to them, Hannah?
You're not alone. If you will talk with 10 business owners, possibly about 8 of them will be in the same boat. Different stories, different issues. So you're not alone. And there is nothing that is irreversible. You just need the right help.
That is so brilliantly put, Hannah. It's so important to know that you're not alone, regardless of where you are in life, in business. And it's
Yeah.
so wonderful. We've had so many golden nuggets from you here today, and it's, make that decision, really looking into life. There's so much to do. Australia is a beautiful space, and it's so important for us all to make that informed decision with our finances. And there's no need to panic, guys. And there's no need to be embarrassed, to be ashamed, because everything is fixable. And there's lots of opportunities that you have to grow your business once you understand where you are. And thank you, Hannah, for telling us that we can all adapt and we don't need to be stuck. We're not alone. And when we have challenges, we're in doubt. That's the time when we're growing the most. So, if something with resonated with all of you in this conversation that we had with Hannah, we will ask you the same thing. Think about who you're becoming, because clarity doesn't start with numbers. It really starts with ownership. And Hannah, for everyone who is looking to continue this conversation with yourself, how can they connect? Where should they reach out to you?
They can book a no obligation call to chat with me, and I will listen. What is their business? How they love to run their business? What's their struggles and how I can help them? My website is efficiency.com.au, and in the contact page, there is book a call with me. So it links to my calendar. You book a 15 minutes call and we'll chat and see how I can help you.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. You will find Hannah's details in the comments below and the links to connect with her as well. So, to build a strong business, you really have to face what you've been avoiding. And when you understand your numbers, you can take back control. Thank you so much, Hannah. We are really grateful to have you today. Thank you for your wisdom and thank you for your presence. To all of you, this is Life and Biz Unfiltered. We'll see you with the next guest. Thank you.